Peace, love, and light. I am Damri Alma At Bay. This is Eden Rose, and Eden Rose is a way of life. We are here today to do the daily divine reading, and I am just trying to get my eyes on our first card that was pulled, which is the Threshold. So we use I use the archetypes deck as a way of kind of reading. Hi, Sarah. As a way of reading the energy, the main energy of the people who are tuning in. And then I go in. I'm going to use that sticker as well to kind of, this is the sticker. This is the special sticker, actually. The person who's watching this video right now, this sticker came from you. Haha. I have a whole deck with all those stickers. But anyhow, I'm going to use the sticker and the archetype card to kind of get a general idea of the energy, and then we'll get into more depth using the tarot. And then at the end, we use the Moonology cards to just give us some advice and, give us some direction on where to go from here. So I'm going to read from the book. The Threshold. The door, the gate, the initiation. We cross thresholds continually, consciously and unconsciously. Doorways, gates, and entryways grace our path on a daily basis. When this card arises, it signifies that the precipice you stand upon is not your typical one. You have arrived at a threshold of initiation, here to usher you into a new reality. It requires you to leave behind the you that you thought was so well formed. A new frontier calls. This is not easy work. Threshold initiation means a part of you will be lost in order to make space for what is next. A metaphorical death must occur. Some may not recognize you, and you may struggle to recognize yourself. The ground seems to crumble as you free fall into your new reality. This is the liminal realm. One step, dear friend. Just take that one necessary step forward to the future that calls you. Okay. So funny because I was kind of reading into the first tarot card originally, and that is, if you can see here, the King of Cups. I know. The King of Cups here is really just, to me, it represented a shift in gears. It represented a shift in direction as far as where your energy or how your energy is moving. And I'll get more deep into that. But the Threshold card obviously kind of supports that energy even more. It is, right now is a time for you to kind of take a look around and recognize where you're at, recognize that certain constructs and themes, situations are crumbling, and it's time to step forward into a new space. The great thing about it is that this card is accompanied by the sun sticker, which the sticker is amazing. It's fun. Obviously, we see waves in there in the glasses, but we also see almost like flames within the water. So the water looks like it's acting like a flame in his glasses here. And for me, what that represents is passion. It represents the igniting force, the spark that starts things in life, right? That spontaneous heartbeat that happens in a womb, right? It's that thing, that energy, that divine life force that fuels you. And so it's illuminating, even though this card, like it said in the book, can really kind of dictate or not dictate, but talk about a time when things might seem a little bit unstable because, things are falling apart or seemingly so. Life may be changing faster than your consciousness is prepared for. But the truth is that what's been inside of you, the asking, the the internal asking, the vibrational asking that you've been asking the universe is finally having its time to present itself and become manifest. And so when things need to change very rapidly in the physical realm, destruction is necessary. A falling apart is necessary, because here in the physical realm, it takes so much energy to put things together. And so when you're shifting frequencies, when you're shifting realities so very quickly, you're also going to experience that destructive, that falling apart aspect of things. Exactly. There's been a lot of earthquakes and other, I feel like they're not a tsunami, but there's been a lot of like big waves and a lot of floods as well. So the destructive energy is definitely necessary, because it brings about, new life. You need the flame to burn things down in order to, take whatever's left over and chemically heat those things up, obviously, because it's in the flame, and turn those things into new life, into new organisms, into new movement. So it's time for you, and this is just the message that's being presented. It's time for you to recognize that this is moving without your will, and it's nothing that you're going to have any control over. This is something that is just going to happen. So whether or not you want the change, whether or not you've been trying to create the change is coming, and it's going to have huge, great effects on you. So let's get into what the change actually feels like and looks like. So now we're into this King of Cups over here. And with this card, whenever I get the King of Cups, I always recognize, or I always like to recognize that the masculine energy, the I don't want to say emotion, but the cups is emotion, water is emotion, but that passion that fuels the masculine energy within you is being is being presented. It's what's coming forward. It's what that flame is igniting. Okay. And masculine energy is really just forward moving energy. It's directed. It's offering. It doesn't receive. It's giving. It's taking action. It's moving forward. And so although the King of Cups is one of the slower moving energies as far as any of the kings go in the deck, because it's emotional, it's very internal and heart-centered. At the same time, when it's paired with this energy of the threshold and this movement forward and the illumination of the sun, this light energy, it kind of turns into like this, I almost feel like chariot energy, like fast fireball, like hurling through the sky. It turns into this energy of great passion, but also direction, really. Intentional direction. And that's the energy that's being born into you right now, is this new state of being, new way of being, where not only are you dreaming things up and creating things and manifesting, but the clarity of what you need to do, what things you need to take action toward in order to, move forward for you, those things are just going to become. So you won't have to figure out what to do next. It's just going to be, it'll be like a eureka moment, You wake up one day and you go, you know what, maybe I'll just do this. And then you take action on it and you do it and you complete it, and that's that. And another week will go by and you'll think, oh, shucks, why don't I try this today? I'm going to do this. And then you'll do it and you'll complete it and you'll move on. So this isn't an energy that kind of starts a project and then allows it to sort of die in momentum. This is the type of energy that pushes through, that finishes tasks, that completes the job from beginning to end. And that's what you're being gifted with, is this energy that is going to be able to keep you buoyant and keep you flowing and moving forward in the direction that you want to move in with much of what's happening. Now, like I said, a lot of the new manifestations are, they're kind of blind ones. It's not really something that perhaps you knew you were actively creating. It's almost like this underlying, it's almost like if you say, I want happiness, universe, I would like to manifest happiness. And then the universe, I don't know, you lose your home, and then you lose your job, and all of these terrible things seem to happen. But then a month later, you get the job of your dreams, and someone offers you an opportunity to inherit, a large piece of property, and it has a beautiful home on it, and it's perfect, and it's right near where your new job is. It's like destruction and these not necessarily great seeming experiences will begin to happen in order to make room for this new energy coming in. It's necessary. And being at the threshold, being at the precipice of this vibrational shift and difference for you in this time and space, especially since things are moving so quickly now vibrationally, it's going to happen rapidly. So you're being also urged not to, first of all, we're going to kind of move into this energy a little bit, but first of all, you're being urged to step into the heart space. The color green is always about the heart chakra, as we know. And so you're being urged to step into the heart space so that you can find comfort and ease and love vibration as you move through this time. Because although things may seem like they are falling apart, they're falling apart in order to be built back into this great new experience that you don't even know what it's going to be like. It's going to be something that's very, very different. And you might not necessarily think that you're ready for it right now. But the universe thinks otherwise. The universe is ready for you to step forward into this new space, this new realm. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to pull one more card just to kind of see where we end up at the end of this. So this is going to be an ancestral card so that I can really get the energy after. This is after all of these changes, after all of this new energy is within you. What can we look forward to? What new space will we be in? Okay, hold on. I have a few cards here, so we're going to figure out which one it is. And it's this one. I knew it. Okay. The tear. So the tear represents, first of all, tears come from the eyes, right? The tear represents, well, for me, the manifestation, the gem, the eye, which represents our consciousness, which represents our focus, our higher state of mind and being. And then what being in that state of mind produces is this tear, right? If you have a mind or a perspective that is skewed and funky, the tears, the manifestation that comes forth from that energy is going to be reflective of that, that mental space. But if your consciousness, if your energy is in a heightened state of being, then the tear or the manifestation that comes forth from that eye, from that perspective, is going to be, like I said, reflective of the consciousness of the space that it came from. And so it's sort of a warning. It's like recognize your energy, recognize where you're at all times, because what you produce is exactly, well, it always is, but it's always going to be a reflection of, what it is or where it is that you are consciously. So I'm going to read from the book just to get a little more clarity. Tears are droplets of letting go. I like that. Once they begin to fall, we allow the swelling tide of emotion to run its elemental course. Often the tear is what is needed in order for a conversation or situation to break into the next level of intimacy and vulnerability. Some say that tears are so powerful in softening our egos that they open up a portal to the unseen world. Through our watery eyes, and the ancestors catch a glimpse of us, and we are reminded of their eternal embrace. We sense our humanity, our humility, and we allow ourselves to be held. It is likely this card appears when there is grieving yet to do, a sinking down into disappointment or despair that once acknowledged will bring a shimmer of clarity to our dewy eyes. So, exactly. There is going to be, a time to mourn. There is going to be a time to, feel as though or recognize all of the things or ways of being that you are losing or no longer, resonating with anymore. And it is important to recognize that change and shift from point A to point B, right? And to allow yourself to let go of those things that kept you held in that space before. And it is important to mourn and to appreciate all of those lessons that came along with that experience. In that same breath, it's important that, like I said, what is produced from the eye is always reflective of what's internally there already. So the tears, the releasing of whatever you've already been creating vibrationally, it's going to require some letting go. It's going to require some mourning, because the tears being produced from that experience are one thing, and you're moving into this new space where the energy of those tears are not going to be able to exist. It's like you have to let it go and release it and allow the tears to flow, allow whatever releasing you need to do to be left in this time now, this now space right now, so that it can be left in the past and you can move forward with a cleansed energy. I always think of tears as being cleansing. I think of tears as being a renewal of such. Like when I have a really big epiphany or I have some sort of lesson that I finally receive, usually whether it's sad tears or tears of gratitude, usually I do a gigantic cry out. Like it is days worth of crying. Sometimes it's just an afternoon, but like I said, sometimes it's days. Tears can be very cleansing, and so maybe you need a really good cry. Maybe you have had a really good cry and you've been judging yourself about, not being strong enough, but really and truly everything that you do, every space that you're in, every experience that you have is meant to assist you in this path. And so you have to recognize that everything is positive, everything is an aid to you, everything is of assistance. So even those tears that need to fall are going to be of assistance to you. They're going to be something that offers you strength and power, as opposed to, a recognition of your weakness or, unwillingness to be vulnerable. The vulnerability that comes from releasing tears is going to be incredibly, incredibly healing. So cry it out. And with that, I will say, I love you. I will that these messages allow you to see with clarity, to feel and be with clarity. I will that they bring you ease and you're able to create the things that you are willing to create in this beautiful time space continuum with ease and with effortlessness. I love you very much. Peace, love, and light.